Johnny Lee Dees, pastor Cross Point Church, used to be known as Rocket, what do we call it?
Rocket City at one time.
Rocket City. Yeah. And John says we're 10 years now.
10 years in the month of September.
Let me give a shout out to the first 2 members who joined that day.
You don't get a plaque?
When we have 50 people and a dog.
Yeah, that's right. We've gone for quite a way since.
And Gwyn and Roy came with us one.
Yeah, they did come by. That's right.
That was a small church.
It
surprised me that corner there. What was that? Eastview and Slaughter.
Quite popular.
Then they got a dentist office there now. All kinds of stuff.
All good stuff.
Just because we started that.
That's right. Exactly.
Take credit for everything.
Everybody knows that.
And besides that auto harp, everything went good there.
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. It's been a thank y'all for being there for 10 years, really and truly. Jamie and
But it ain't
Gloria.
been easy, John.
Hey, oh yeah, that's right. First church members at the place, and it's been 10 great years. And we've
Still sitting on the front row.
Still there.
Despite other objections in there. John, I know lately you've been, now that you've announced we are going to build a new church, we can hold about 3,000 or 4,000. Hopefully that'll be the way it is by the end. So you're trying to get people in the mood for this. It looks like you got like 100% people behind you. The way you're doing everything, that's why you've not been able to finish a sermon the last 3 or 4 weeks.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. We started a sermon 3 weeks ago, and I obviously put too much in it, and this will be 3rd week we're still working on the same sermon, but it's been good.
John, I've got here, why is it I always feel like I just want to give up during the week? You know, I just want to give up.
Give up and do what?
I don't know. I ain't figured that out yet. But I wrote down, you just said, you just want to give up sometimes. You just get tired of stuff.
Well, I think everybody's like that. The Bible even tells us don't get weary in well doing. And I think the natural human tendency is most of us, we're born sinners, and we oftentimes get tired of doing the next right thing. Like I always say, all you got to do is just do the next right thing. But sometimes, because we all have a flesh, we all have the sin nature, and the old devil works on us, and sometimes we just get
I just don't want to do the next right thing.
That's right.
Are you saying I need to get my heart examined for wicked ways?
You know what? I tell you, what Jamie's talking about, and it's very profound. David, of course, he committed the adultery with Bathsheba. But when God really got a hold of his heart, he said, "Examine my heart, Lord, create in me a new spirit, and see if there be any wicked way in me." Well, I was telling the people the other day. Well, yeah, I was going to say. I was telling people the other day, I love to pray that prayer, and I hate to pray that prayer because it's a good prayer to pray, Lord, to see if there's any wicked. But then when I pray it, He always shows me that there is some wicked ways in me, and so I have to go back and confess those things and let go of those things.
Yeah, I had that. John hates that prayer, but I couldn't read the rest of it, but does it anyway. The other day, you told us a great story, and come to find out it was a friend of ours' dad who died that we knew from out at the river. And you led him. Now, this was a ex-Marine, whatever.
Stubborn
he didn't believe
individual.
in God. He didn't do nothing. Yet, on his deathbed, he came to Christ.
A couple days prior, I believe.
Amen.
And that was a great story you tell. Without us even knowing who you were talking about, once we found out who it was,
it made so much sense.
That is a good story.
Yeah.
Well, it was a really neat story. A man who, and fortunately, God was gracious to him. He had pretty much kept God at arm's length all of his life, and at a distance. And there's a lot of folks like that. You never know where somebody came from or why they have that harder heart. But he was on his deathbed, or he was on his deathbed, and walked into his room at Decatur General just a few weeks ago, and just said, "Sir, it's not looking good for you." And so he prayed to receive Christ, and was lucid for about 2 more days after that. But thank God for God's mercy.
John, you do a lot of funerals.
Yes, I do.
And you did my mom's funeral, and I've seen you friends of ours and stuff like that. But there's a Dear Abby the other day.
Yeah.
Mother-in-law wants eulogy control. My mother-in-law insisting that her adopted son and I each write a eulogy for her so she can read it before she dies. We don't think her request is appropriate. I've told her, but she keeps insisting that we do this.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Dear Abby says, "I think your mother-in-law is starved for compliments, and that's why she's pressuring you. Ask her what she would like to have included in her eulogy, and then do some creative writing." Now,
Tell her you love her more.
Yeah, there you go.
is that uncommon, John? You've told us you've even done funerals when there's only one person there.
Yeah, well, I have done that for sure, but I've never heard of anybody that would just say, hey, I want you to write my eulogy and read it to me beforehand. But maybe she's a control freak. Maybe she's one of those kind of people that maybe she doesn't really trust what the kids are going to write. Who knows? But
you've never heard anybody doing that before?
I haven't. Now, what I have heard, though, is a man who recorded before his death. He recorded before his death what he was going to say, because he was a man who was a very scientific guy, and he knew a lot of ungodly people would be coming to his funeral, and he had become a Christian, and so he recorded his testimony and spoke at the funeral. His voice came on and said, "Hello from heaven."
That gives me chills now.
It said, "Hello from heaven," and I want you all to join me there. It's really powerful.
At least he didn't say it's hot here.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. Exactly. And he was trying to keep his friends from not having to say that.
So if somebody before they died wrote a eulogy and give to you, would you read it? I mean, if they had written it?
If they had requested that, sure. I mean, as long as it was appropriate, yeah, I would read that.
Well, what if they made up all kind of stuff about themselves?
Since I read that article, I've given it a little bit of thought, John.
What a thought, Jamie.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. I got you. Yeah, okay.
I want you to read about me.
Yeah, there you go.
Something were to happen. I just happened to write this down the other day.
There you go. Okay.
Take notes
Yes,
while I'm writing this out here. I figured you could get through this in probably an hour.
We'll just plan a good 3 or 4 hour service.
So
that'll
if
be
you don't mind, I'll just tell all the good things I've done.
Just keep it somewhere safe.
That's it?
Just keep it somewhere secure, and we'll have it when
But I've already prepared that for you.
That's right.
So, and I'll just kind of keep it here.
Jamie.
I spent a lot of time on that. All right, John, let's change the subject.
That's pretty good, Jamie. That's pretty good. Right?
Let's change the subject a little bit. Football, what are you thinking?
Well, I think it was a pretty incredible weekend. And just you asked me before the season who I thought was the national champs, and I said Alabama. And my goodness, what a statement game!
What was that they said the first time that I was watching ESPN yesterday? A team that won as much as Southern Cal did, and then drops to number 2 in the poll.
Well, again,
they won like 40-something points.
Yeah, exactly. But the poll was wrong in the first place. Alabama had won in a dominating fashion their bowl game against LSU. There's no reason in the world to not think that they're going to be number 1 the next year, and they went out and demonstrated it by crushing and again, this wasn't Little Sisters of the Poor they were playing. This was Michigan. So,
well, you guys y'all played at 11 o'clock Saturday.
Right.
Mississippi State, I think, a 3-point favorite in that.
Yeah, I would make them that. Auburn played hard, but we're just not that good yet. And so Alabama, kudos to Alabama. They deserve it.
Good cycles.
And then Arkansas coming up. So anyway, don't forget my eulogy, John.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, y'all come for Jamie's eulogy.
Y'all stop talking about that.
No, that's right.
All right, we got to get out tomorrow. Jaw Jacker will be back cooking in the kitchen. We had cooks all week. John, there's some of that chocolate pie left in there. A bunch of it,
Cobbler.
Too. Cobbler. Chocolate cobbler.
There you go. I bet
actually, it's chocolate gravy with crust.
Yeah, okay.
Chocolate cobbler.
Right there. I'll eat some Dieter's Delight along with it.
Just mix it over.
There you go.
Sprinkle it on top.
Yeah, sprinkle it on top. I wonder if that'd work.
Oh, I don't know.
All right, we got to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow. Coach Alan Creasy, the Athens Golden Eagles, joins us tomorrow. He returns every Thursday. He'll be with us and lots of other things. Jaw Jacker will be cooking in the Lewis and Son kitchen. And if y'all got a leak, y'all give them a call. They can stop a leak in the creek. Don't forget, Vice President Jeff Matthews is over there now. He'll personally come out and secure your leak.
As long as the roof's not too steep.
Right now, we'll get out of here. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah.
Local and loving.